I was walking through Lowe's and I saw a picture of something that I completely recognized, but I didn't recognize the name, so I picked it up. Look at this, Maxx Blast. What does that picture look like? We're going to talk about that in just a minute, but this is what we're going to look at today. If you're new here, my name is Jeff, and this is Jeff Reviews for You. I review a whole lot of products. I specialize in reviewing as seen on TV items. Once in a while, I do a little bit of a DIY just because I like to. If that interests you, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and click the bell below. That way you're notified every time I release a video just like this one. One more thing, don't forget to check down the description for my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I would love it if you would follow me there too. Now, let's take a closer look at this as seen on TV Maxx Blast to see if it's any good. Here's my Maxx Blast solar powered spotlight. Let's unbox it. I purchased this for just around $20 from my local as seen on TV retailer. We had some tabs to cut off. All right, let's slide this out and see what we have. Piece of cardboard left in that box. Looks like I have a stake where I can put this into the ground. That's pretty cool. But here is the Maxx Blast itself. It has a hinge with the solar panel on the top, a pretty decent sized solar panel. And then I have a screw fitting here to hook up the base to the actual Maxx Blast. Let me show you something I reviewed not that long ago, and this was the Bionic Spotlight. They look pretty similar. The housing here is a little different, but otherwise I think it's almost the same product, just maybe remade. This one I've had for a couple years, and you can see what happens to solar panels over time. Now this one still works. If I were to turn it on, you're gonna see it light up and such, but over a matter of time, these things end up breaking down and not working. But let's test out the Maxx Blast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go screw this in, hook it up, and we'll show you what they both look like at night. We've installed the base to the Maxx Blast. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fitting, push it in, and screw it together, and then aim it out so it gets full sun all day. I have my Bionic Spotlight on the left, my Maxx Blast on the right. Of course, that's a solar Bionic light. That's just a sunflower. Anyway, so we're going to test these out in a day or so. I want them to get full sun, and we'll see just how they work. I will say I've seen the little red light comes on here just like it did with the Bionic Spotlight. So, what are your thoughts of these solar-powered spotlights? Either the Bell & Howell Bionic Spotlight or the Maxx Blast solar spotlights. Would you try these? Have you? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. I wanted to give you a quick rundown of the Maxx Blast solar LED spotlight. First things first, we have 8 really bright LED lights right up here in the front. This circle in the middle is actually your motion sensor. Of course, we already saw the solar panel, but I wanted to show you this because we haven't showed it yet before. It's actually the on-off button. So to the left, it's off, and to the right, it shows the motion. So you notice immediately when I turn it on, you saw that bright light there pop on, but because it's daylight in here, because I have all these lights on, it definitely doesn't shine anymore. But if I were to cover up the solar panel, we're just gonna put this down here on the bottom, thus making the device think it's nighttime, and you can see that that light clicked on automatically, thus giving us that intense beam. Now, it takes about 30 seconds for this light to go off, but when it does, you're gonna see a red blinking light. Now we've gone into standby mode. You can see that red blinking light, and of course, as soon as I put motion in front, it sets it off. The nighttime test, I have the Maxx Blast spotlight on the right and the Bionic spotlight on the left. I'm going to start getting closer and you're going to see those lights click on. Let's do this. Right now I'm about 20 feet away. Making it closer. Let me zoom out a little. All right, so we saw that the Bionic spotlight definitely clicked on first. I'm right about 15 feet away right now, which they tell you these things are good for 25 feet away. Let's get a little closer to see when our blast kicks on. Wow, I am only 10 feet away and that finally turned on. That being said, it is bright. Here I'm just looking at the ground cover of the Maxx Blast, and just like the Bionic Spotlight that you'll see in a second, it just focuses on a central area and provides an intense beam. It goes out, I can see about 25 feet out. It is pretty bright here in the middle, but then it fades off gradually. So here's the Bionic Spotlight. As you can see, it puts off the same type of beam. In my opinion, these lights are very similar, if not the same, just redesigned from one year to the next. They both provide an intense beam down here and then gradually taper off as it gets further into the distance. In this video, we were looking at the Maxx Blast Solar Spotlight. So what did I think of it? First things first, the as seen on TV price point. I really love it when items fall within that zone. Second thing, you know what? This looked really familiar. And so I looked back, sure enough, almost 2 years ago, I reviewed a product called the Bionic Spotlight by Bell & Howell, and it looked very similar, very small differences. And even when you checked out the different lights, they looked very similar and how bright they made things. I do like that it had that little red flashing light. Even though no one's going to think this is a camera, I still thought it was kind of cool. And then, of course, when you saw and it lit up everything, it made an intense beam. What didn't I like about it? Well, I was not impressed with the motion sensor part of this. I got really close to it. It says 25 feet away, and I was much closer than 25 feet before this thing lit up. Those are just my experiences. I will say I did show you the solar panel of my Bionic Spotlight after almost 2 years. So you do know these are not meant to last forever, and they do wear down. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day.
Now we can just nail our stake into the ground and set this up for a ground light. I'm going to be using my Bell & Howell tack hammer. I'm only going to put it in that far because this is not the permanent location. Once you get your stake in, you can insert this piece. Now, after we get this in, we can hook up the light. Once your stake is installed, we're now going to put the base part here on the stake. And it pretty much should just look like this, ready to shine up on any walkway as you approach it. I wanted to give you that in another view. So really you're just putting this plastic pipe into the Maxx Blast Solar Spotlight, so then it will stand up in the yard. It's really simple. As you can see, I have the Maxx Blast Spotlight on its stake here, sitting out in front. The only thing I can guess you would use this for is if you're trying to light a walkway, or maybe to ward off intruders so they see a big blast, but this is not to light your house or anything because, well, it doesn't stay on time. Let's come into its range of motion and see if it kicks on. The sad thing is right now, I'm only about 5 feet away. I bet you I can reach down and touch that. So I'm a little disappointed with the motion sensor. That being said, it is bright. Here's the Maxx Blast lighting up the front of the house, definitely letting people know where to or not to go.
I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the Maxx Blast Solar Spotlight. You know what? In this video, I compared it to the Bionic Spotlight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link that review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you at this review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe. I promise.